Hello once again everybody, welcome back. It has been a little while since my last video. Unfortunately I've had COVID, so I've not been in a very good place to be producing videos, but I'm feeling a lot better now. Still a bit bunged up. I'm testing negative, but I'm still a little bit bunged up, so I'm not 100% yet, but I'm doing a lot better. Today you join me in Satisfactory. I've been spending a lot of time in Satisfactory. In fact, let's have a quick look, shall we? That's where's my mouse gone? There we go. It's 94 hours. 95 if you round up. 95 hours. Oh my god. So, yes, I've been busy. I have been busy in this save. So I've played this quite a lot. I spent an awful lot of time in Satisfactory, not just on this latest game save. So we're over in the desert. My very first factory was way over there on the grasslands. I started again over there. My third playthrough was over on the desert, all the way over there. And then, yes, my fourth playthrough was over here in the desert. And then I decided to start all over again, fairly recently, to start from scratch completely. Now, I have mods. I have lots and lots of mods. Some of them add really interesting machines and things. Others just make it a hell of a lot easier to build things, and others just make it a lot easier just to play. So the first one, of course, is area actions. I think everybody knows this one. So I can fly. I've got a little cheat terminal over here, but that's not used all that much. It's basically to make things not kill me. Because when it comes to a game like this, I just like to build. Okay, I just like to build. I don't particularly want to faff around too much with actually grinding. So that just knocks all that out. So let's have a little factory tour. So here, of course, is our main base. We've got the hub, we've got the MAM, we've got the equipment workshop, awesome shop. I did have an awesome sink. I've got quite a few tokens still lying around for things which might need unlocking, but that's what that's there for, and that's why I don't have an awesome sink at the moment. Then, of course, the whacking great big space elevator. So that's my basic central hub. Next, I think we should go over here and see. This is where I get my water. It's got a bit of room for expansion. I've got enough at the moment. I'm not going to go crazy. This is enough for my my current power generation needs. So I know this isn't this isn't ideal. These produce 120 cubic meters of water a minute, and the pipes take 300 per minute. So having 3 of them into one pipe, it's not all that efficient. I know it's not all that efficient, but it means the pipe is saturated. So as you can see, I've built for future expansion and all the rest of it. So let's have a look. We do have a massive wall, massive foundations, and I've taken over an awful lot of land here. It's just, yeah, this is me. Basically, I haven't gone, I haven't developed anything in that direction. I haven't gone over there to build anything. Everything is here. Absolutely everything is here. So let's have a look at what I've been up to. So I do have an interesting power setup that I'll show you now. This is basically my power. I'll take flying off for now. So yeah, this is my power control room. I've got 2 of these power poles. At the moment it says no connection. It's because everything's off, everything's shut down. Same there. Now this is connected to my main grid. So that powers absolutely everything. This over here is the bootstrap grid, the boot up grid. So I'll say I've got batteries hooked up here, and this is one of the mods. It's just a very cheap, very simple power switch. I've got biomass burners that provide enough power just to get things going. It's just enough to get those water pumps running and a couple of coal miners. That's all. And then I've got my basic coal generator supply coming in here. Now over here, this is pretty important. So I've got my backup feed here from the biomass burners, and I've got grid power here for when things are running. But it's very important that you don't activate both at once, because if you try and hook up backup feed and grid feed at once, then the backup feed tries to power the whole factory and it just trips the fuses. So yeah, let's get things running, shall we? So first of all, hook up our biomass burners and then stick our backup feed on there. That'll get things running. Now run over here, activate our water pumps, because I shut them down manually, so they'll start going now. I mean, I've got a lot of water in the system, I've got a lot of coal in the system already, so I don't necessarily need to do this. So we've got our backup power to the coal miners. We'll go down and have a look at those in a moment. I do need to hook something else up actually. So this is basically my distribution floor. So as you can see, we've got plenty of coal here and plenty of coal in our storage container. What I did just to get a quick shutdown was just cut off the coal supply here. No, that's the wrong thing. There we go, conveyor belt Mark 4. So I have unlocked an awful lot of stuff already. So there we go. So yeah, I'm going to enable flying again because I need a little bit of height for this. So yeah, this is another mod called modular load balancers. We've got Mark 4 belt coming in and all of these Mark 1 belts coming out, going to our coal generators. As you can see, the water here is all up, it's all full, it's all pressurized, but there's no flow yet because we're not using. So yes, we'll come back to all the rest of this monstrosity later, but you can see I've got my power grid hooked up here, and this is my backup power supply on this side. All very nice, all very simple. So let's have a little fly into here. So this of course is refined power, and it's all the modular power stuff. So the coal comes in here to the coal heater, it burns, which now that we're above 100 degrees is going to start heating up our boiler. It produces CO2 which needs venting, which we'll have a look at later. So the boiler is a completely separate building on top of the heater. That takes in water and produces high pressure steam. As you can see, it's producing high pressure steam over here. The temperature is still rising. As the temperature rises, you produce more steam per minute, which is very, very nice. Now these are all Mark II. It shows you how far I've got. I've got 7 of these setups. So the piping is kind of complicated because you've got to kind of balance flow rates, things. So basically, each one of these comes out auto-saving. So yeah, each one of these pumps into this middle pipe here. But that middle pipe also feeds into a top and bottom pipe as well, so that we have 3 pipes full of steam pumping away. So they come along here, so all of these generators come off this bottom pipe. So obviously feeding in at the bottom here at this end. The middle pipe then hooks into the middle of this pipe here, and then the top pipe comes all the way to the end and then feeds in here. So it balances the pressure out. It balances the pressures and flows all along the chain. Now we're not producing enough steam to really get all these going at maximum speed all the time, which is why they're currently flickering on and off. So if you have a look at this turbine, you see the steam comes in. As long as you've got 5, it keeps going. So we're up to maximum speed, which is very nice indeed. So we'll have a look at the generator. I just love watching the generator spinning. So this generator is producing 300 megawatts, and I have 10 of them. Now my current setup of 7 boilers and 10 generators means that I'm producing a smidge more steam than I'm using. So let's see if we can find a slow turning one. Well, they're all going quite well actually. But this one here, you can see the RPMs going up and then dropping, going up and then dropping. So our power will be fluctuating somewhat. You see, it's not got enough steam in it yet to really keep it going. See, the flue berth has gone down and it's about 4 cubic meters. So it starts slowing down. So we've got another power pole in here just so we can see our production graph. It's going up, and it's topped out now. We're running at full pelt, which is very nice. See, that didn't take too long. It wasn't instant, not by a long shot, but it didn't take too long to get running. I mean, it helps that all the water was primed and everything, but still, that is my main generating plant. So what I can do now that we're up and running, activate the main switch, activate the batteries, and we can have a look on here, and we can now see that yes, it's 3,000 megawatts, and we've got our batteries all nice and full and charged. Over here is still our backup power. So you can see that's not very much at all. You know, a capacity of 300 megawatts. That's coming from my backup, but the biomass burners up there, you can see them through the window. We'll go up and have a look at those in a minute. So what we need to do is we need to shut off the backup power and then switch that over to the grid power. We can then turn off our feed from the biomass burners, and we are up and running. Click on that, and of course we get our normal grid power coming through over there. So we'll just disable flying, and we'll go and have a little walk up this catwalk. Redesigned all of this just last night actually, so here we go. We have a lot in here. Now, yeah, that would have used a couple of biofuel each, so that's very nice indeed. Everything here, everything running very nicely. Of course, the good thing about biomass burners is that they don't use fuel when they're not being actually being used. In here we have a massive battery storage tank. I mean, there's just so much of this. These could run my factory for hours if needed. It's great. That thing over there is my storage facility. I'll get to that a bit later, but we'll enable flying again. Wait for the autosave. And come up here. So this is the CO2 vent. It's enough to handle 7 of the burners. And then each of these is pumping out an awful lot of low pressure steam from the turbines. With Mark 1 you can run 2 turbines on each of these chimneys. But with the Mark II, you need 1 each. Anyway, that's my power plant. So over here we've got storage. On the top we've got the special elevator parts. I was trying to think of the right word for it then. But we've got the advanced wiring here, a completely full container. Yeah, I had all of this completely automated. I've got quite a few of these, not enough for phase 3. I need an awful lot for phase 3, but I've still got quite a few of them in stock. And yes, the container screens are very, very handy. I've even got the smart plating. But as with every Satisfactory factory, you tend to knock everything down and rebuild from scratch quite often. So that's what we get. I'm currently in a rebuild phase. That's what all of that is over there. But yeah, see, if we come inside, we've got concrete, plates, rods, screws. Got advanced plates, which I haven't filled. We've got modular frames, we've got rotors, we've got stators. So all of this was, I had all of these items automated before my current factory rebuild. So I've got lots of steel stuff there. I don't store ingots. I've never seen the point in storing ingots. Everything else, yes. But you don't really use the ingots in anything. So I've got all my copper stuff there. So what we'll start off with is having a look at this particular factory building. Now this building itself is completely finished. Actually, let's take a look at the mines first. Just go down here, convenient hole. Now, what I have is placeable resources. So I have a mod that allows me to place resource nodes. Now this makes building a factory very, very efficient and good. So as we come down here, this particular row here are coal, and it's these two that supply the coal for the generator. I mean, they all supply coal for the generator, but these are the ones which run on the backup power grid. The rest currently turned off because I'm not running any other factory business upstairs. Over here, I believe, is the iron. So all of these nodes are pure. And all of these are Mark II miners. So that produces an awful lot of resources. So we've got 240 per minute being kicked out. I then combine 2 of them into 1 Mark IV belt, so that's 480. So I have 6 480 belts going up. And I've got that for iron, I've got it for copper, I've got it for limestone. And of course, yes, I've got it for coal as well. That is where I am at the moment in my factory rebuild. Now, the thing about that mod is that it takes, I think, 2,000 resources to build each one of those nodes. So it does take a lot. It does take an awful lot. There's a nice bit of lens flare. So yeah, we come up these towers. The towers feed the power down as well. So they come into these modular balancers. Now we'll have another look at those in a minute, but these things are incredible. So yeah, as long as you build them touching each other, and I'll just demonstrate that now. So see, if I put that there, it wouldn't link to it. But if I hooked it up there and the whole thing turns white, then that will become part of the whole machine. These are just simple balancers, so any of the inputs will get fed to any of the outputs. Obviously, so iron, I've got 3 belts of iron going over there for my steel production. You can see that they meet up with 3 coal. Over here then it comes, I've got my 6 out here. It goes into this input shaft. Comes up here. The input shaft, if we have a look in there, has all these lifts that go up. So I've got 480 on each of those lifts going into each of these. I'll just pick one at random. Each of these floors. Each of these floors has 16 smelters. So once again, we've got these balancers. So we've got sort of one input, and then it feeds into 16 outputs. And some very neat belt work, if I do say so myself. All the way down here. So none of this is powered. So I think we get this powered up and see what happens. So that is just iron ingots. This entire building is just iron ingots. I'm going to have to get my notes out, but it's well over 2,000 per minute. It is ridiculous, the amount of stuff. So what we'll do, over here we have our power to our iron miners, so we can turn that on. Hear them start up. There we go. That's pumping in. It's already coming up. You see the feeds come online. It's nice. All of that is being fed that way. Now, I'm well aware that if I run my iron ingots and my steel ingots at once, they will not be 100% efficient. But I can run. But that doesn't really matter so much because you don't use everything at once. I mean, this is going to run down there over to my steel, the basement of my steel production facility over there. That'll all fill up and eventually stop. So that's not so much of a problem. Now, if we have a quick look in here, we'll see that we've got really, really fast conveyor belt coming in, but everything comes out so slowly. It's like a little procession. So we better start these up now. Ooh, sounds a problem with flying. Whoa, a lot of smoke in the way there. So here we go. A little bit of clipping through belts, but I don't particularly care that much about that. As we come over here, they will all feed into this, and we will get a very, very fast belt coming out of that down there into the bottom. Right, we're starting to get them through now. So we go over here where we can watch them start to come out. So that's 2 floors we're getting out there. These are from another mod which allows you just to get rid of items as quickly as you can feed them in. They will work with nuclear waste, but I don't do nuclear usually. So yeah, we're still coming up to speed as the belts are still feeding in from the furthest the furthest smelters. So that's an awful lot of ingots. Awful lot of ingots all at once. Each one of those belts will eventually become saturated. It just take a little while for everything to get up to speed. We're getting there. We're getting there. That one's not quite there. See, another autosave. Another autosave. But as you can see, that is an awful lot. Awful lot of ingots being churned out. So that is this thing. It took me a day. It took me an entire day to build that. And then we got this one here for copper. It's exactly the same. All finished. We'll start the copper up, I think, as well, just to demonstrate it. Got copper. Over here, so start that up. we'll wait for our mines to start kicking out our copper ore. It's just really weird when you look over there and you see the really slow procession of ingots. Same with these. They move really slow, there's lots of space in between them. And then you see all of these feed into just one conveyor belt later on. I mean, yes, I could probably have done this a little bit more efficiently, but this is nice. It's easy to understand. It's actually pretty quick to build. Once you get the hang of it, once you've planned everything out. And now that I've got this design, which I kind of like, it all works. So that, of course, will eventually make its way to the end. There's a fair amount of lead time, and the belts do glitch sometimes. But as you can see, each one of these now is full capacity, churning out. I'll eventually do the same here. So this one over here is for Caterium. Now I haven't finished this yet. You can see that I still need to cable that up. Basically, I used area actions to copy those, but of course area actions doesn't do any of the wiring and it doesn't do any of the belt work. And frankly, that is an awful lot of what I'm doing over here, is wiring and belt work, because it's relatively easy to build the actual structure of these buildings. Especially now I've got the side tower design, I've got the little catwalks at the side, I know what to do with all the belt work. Now these, of course, because with Caterium each smelter takes 45 per minute, whereas over here the smelters take 30 per minute, so you don't need quite as many, which is why I've made it a bit shorter. I haven't got any Caterium miners yet. I'll have to work on those next time. But anyway, yeah, that's still a work in progress. Over here we have our steel plant. Now even the building over here is a work in progress. Only one floor completed, and I'm only doing 3 floors simply because it's I don't want to swamp out the coal, the iron ingot production over there. So you might be wondering, what on earth is going on here? Well, remember that you can place these next to each other but not have them connected. So they're essentially 2 different load balancers right next to each other. So yeah, one half pumps out the iron, the other half pumps out those. And this is essentially pretty much the same belt work. But I've got, what is it, 10 foundries on each floor here. So of course I need that to be 5 high. It then takes a little bit extra care. Where am I going? It takes a little bit of extra care going through and belting everything up. Because you've got to put 1 through on that side, 1 through on that side. Make sure they go into the right splitters. So yes, this is still in work in progress. Come on, autosave, really? Again? Yeah, so I fed these through. They're all ready to go. Same with this one over here. This side, these are already hooked up. So all I've got to do is place the foundries, do the belt work, do the wiring. You know, the wiring to each floor is already here, so there's not an awful lot of work left to do over here. But 1 floor is enough for now. I could really finish the back end of that off. And then of course they go in there and feed off. We'll get that one going as well. We'll get that running as well. So we've got a fair amount of coal and steel and iron in there already. Where am I going? Let's go over here and we'll activate the other coal mines, because we're going to need those. Now, I've got 12 coal miners down there. I don't use all of them. I really don't. I think when I need a bit more power, I will use a bit more going off in that direction for the power supply. But you can see that I'm not using all the capacity of that. I could probably run another set of coal mines, another set of generators off this one belt alone fairly easily. So yeah, you can see that there's only one of these belts actually running each, because I'm only using the one floor. I really need, I was about to say, I really need a hole in the floor here so I can just fly up. Oh look, there is one. Go down, and here we go. Plenty of steel. I mean, that's a lot of steel being produced. It really is. So these balances are fantastic. I mean, it's a little bit strange in here where you've got the furthest two up there having their own row and not having a complete row of four. I mean, that's kind of playing with my OCD a bit. I don't really want to call it OCD. I know you shouldn't call it OCD. That's completely separate, but I know what it means. So yeah, this is our output. Currently churning out a fair amount of steel per minute, and we can triple that production fairly easily. We've got the capacity for it. We've just got to get around and build it. So basically that's my factory at the moment. Still a fair amount of work to do to get everything else automated back to the level we were before. But this time I've just been working on the bandwidth. I've been working on getting things really flowing. Because my previous factory, it made a lot of stuff, but it wasn't really making it fast. It took a lot of time to actually get some of the more complicated things done, and that's simply because you didn't have the capacity further up the line. I mean, I do have a whole thing full of those, so I wasn't doing too badly for myself. But you know, these were particularly slow to make. Those were particularly slow to make. I do need an awful lot of those in future. So basically, when it comes to unlocking stuff, I don't mind building stuff, like all of that for free, but I will not unlock stuff. I will not cheat to unlock stuff. So, are we on level 6 here at the moment? See this? Yeah, I actually need to produce motors and plastic and rubber. I mean, why? I've got lots of the cable. I've got a whole industrial container full of cable. That's fine. I can get that done pretty instantly. But yeah, I haven't really done anything with oil yet, so that's going to be something for the future. Come on, there we go. Autosave really does sort of mess things up a bit sometimes. So yeah, that's about it. That is about it. We've got the start of our factory. We've got lots more room to expand. We've got our basic factory design nailed right now, because we can easily extend these buildings that way. You can see how easy it was to shorten this one, and there we are. I mean, they're pretty easy to build, even without using area actions. So I think I've showed you just about everything I need to right now. So thanks very much for watching. I really hope to get back to my usual release schedule now that I'm feeling a little bit better. So yeah, thanks very much for watching. Thanks for joining me tonight. And I'll see you all next time. Okay, everybody, welcome back. I just forgot that I didn't show you how much power we were drawing with everything on. So yeah, at the moment, pretty much half. Our maximum consumption is pretty much half of our capacity. We're not really using all of it, which is nice. So yes, we're not using all of it, but we're using half of our power supply, so we will need to upgrade that in the not too distant future, especially once I start getting some more of these online. Anyway, once again, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you next time.